A new luxury townhome development to be built beside Payne Park was brought before the Sarasota City Development Review Committee last week, much to the ire of a local community environmentalist who is a vocal opponent of the project. The proposed Payne Park Townhome project would be built on a 2-acre parcel at 537 South Washington Boulevard. The site is currently home to a half-dozen retail and office buildings, one residential building, and parking lots. They would be demolished and replaced by 50 rental townhomes and over 9,000 square feet of ground floor retail space fronting US 301. Opaloka LLC of Fort Lauderdale owns the property where the mixed-use project will be built. The 4-story, 2- or 3-bedroom townhomes will be along the perimeter of the block. Each townhome will have outdoor deck areas at the 2nd and 4th levels. There will be a community pool within a landscaped courtyard. Opponents of the townhome project include Laurel Park resident and activist Kelly Franklin. She is upset over the fact that there has been no community engagement on the building plan. Moreover, she says the project will roll up an entire block and clear-cut it. She says the existing trees there are in fine shape and are essential to the character and health of the neighborhood and the park. She told county officials, quote, "It is beyond disingenuous to claim the design is context-sensitive when asking to kill even more trees by a park bereft of them, or ask for special favors, while granting no affordable housing and not even the courtesy of a neighborhood workshop," unquote.
The proposal they submitted to the city, and an accelerated proposal they submitted to the city at the end of October, proposes clear-cutting all of the trees on that 2 acres in front of Payne Park. So it's particularly insulting that by Payne Park, a proposal would come in that says, we're going to ignore the trees and the surrounding and the context. We're going to basically take the maximal theoretical allowed by rolling up all these formerly single-family zoned structures on one side of the street and small-scale businesses with big setbacks for parking on the other, and build the maximum saleable square inches. The only protection left to the residents under our current city code is the things that are written into law. And one of those things that is still written into law is that grand trees, which include older, well-established oaks, canopy trees throughout that area. And what they submitted to the city showed clear-cutting all the trees. Nothing in our city plan calls for clear-cutting in order to redevelop. It's an insult to the neighborhood. It's an insult to the city. This is not going to be a sustainable city if we don't protect our trees.
Phil DeMaria with Kimley Horn says only 2 protected grand trees would need to be chopped down. He says one is diseased and dying, and the other would be in the way of utility and power lines. City approval is required before the long-standing grand trees are chainsawed down. But Franklin said dozens of trees would actually be removed to make way for the planned townhomes, retail shops, and parking lots.
He's talking about taking down dozens of trees. They can take down non-grand trees. It's disgusting, but they can do it. And the city can't prevent it under our loosened tree ordinance. There's an entire corner of beautiful foliage at the entryway to Payne Park that's all going to be gone. He's clear-cutting this site.
Opaloka's hired private landscape architect, Phil Smith, says the trees must go. City arborist Don Ulam will do a detailed survey of the grand tree's condition and is keeping an open mind on the issue. Project opponents are hiring a private arborist to get a third opinion, which they hope will save the trees in the end. Franklin, who calls herself a tree of life preserver, said, quote, "Smith has never met a tree he doesn't hate if it sits in the way of a developer's desire to reap maximum benefits at the expense of the public," unquote. She says the existing trees must remain there. No compromise is possible on that.
Sometimes you don't compromise. Our laws are not compromisable, except they've been compromised. Those tree ordinances were written with the objective and desire to protect trees for the benefit of all of us today and tomorrow. This is one step in many skirmishes and battles that I'm having to fight because I'm in Laurel Park and we're surrounded.
DeMaria told the DRC panelists that, quote, the addition of a mixed-use development will complement the momentum currently being experienced on the east side of downtown Sarasota and contribute to the character of the surrounding area. This is Ramon Lopez for WSLR News.